Hello guys, I am back from another video and today we're talking about whether Deku was abandoned. So in the last video, Deku, after that whole battle in the festival, Izuku met well Eri. Eri decides to become a hero and Izuku was not happy about that. So after that whole thing, they were doing the whole class thing again. But except Izuku was being annoyed by her. Especially because she wants to, make Izuku her slave. As in slave, I mean her blank slave. As in blank slave, I mean fuck slave. And yes, this is an 18 plus series, so I better tell you all of you guys to basically start getting away or start getting out of this video because it's a 18 plus video. So yeah. So because of that, the both Kaminari and Jiro basically start fighting over Izuku. And they were also fighting Eri for that reason as well. So yeah. So Izuku decides to sleep on the roof because he's not going to be dealing with that. So yeah. So let's talk about what happens next. So while they were talking about something important, they were told by Aizawa that they're gonna be doing their whole internship thing. So everybody's excited as Izuku was admittedly was okay with it. So yeah. So they were told that they're gonna be going to Midnight's class. So when they made it there, they were told that they're gonna be picking their hero names. So everybody picks their hero names, including Eri, which her hero name is just called the Horned One. Which was okay for Midnight because it she thinks it's cool, I guess. And when Izuku came up, Izuku tells his hero name. Izuku tells everybody that his hero name was Izuku's code name was Shinigami, or at least his hero name. As they say Shinigami, why? As Tristan says this, well, that's his code name. My code name is Thorns after all. Or was it Hedgehog? I kinda forgot. And for, Rose, she says this. Yeah. Mine was called the poison. She kind of laughs a little bit. Like a crazy person. As they say, uh, as usual, she's quite crazy. So, yeah. Wait for a second again. Hello, guys. So, I'm really sorry about I'm really sorry about that, pause because, my stomach doesn't feel good at all lately. It just feels like it's in pain. Anyway, so Izuku was picking his hero agency that is going to be going to be in for a while, and picks well Izuku picks this. Izuku picks Endeavors and Ray Todoroki's Ray Todoroki's and Endeavor's agency, which, yeah, Endeavor wasn't mean to his wife in this universe. So yeah, that means well that means Todoroki doesn't have those daddy issues. So yeah. So when they started getting ready to go to their agencies, Izuku was wearing his perfect mask, which is this mask obviously, and his suit. So when Izuku arrives there, Izuku meets well Izuku meets the girl known as Rei Todoroki, aka by her hero name known as Frost Queen. As she says this, "Oh, it's nice to meet you. So you must be the one of my son's friends, right, from school." Izuku says, "Yeah, and yeah." As in Izuku says, "Yeah," Izuku just nods his head. As she says this, not a talker. Huh, interesting. As Izuku sees, wait for a second. Izuku sees Todoroki talking to Endeavor, as Endeavor says this. So, you must be the boy that's gonna be training, or at least helping us in our agency. So, I also heard that you're part of Team Ragnarok. Interesting. So, what's your name? Izuku just hands him a card, which contains his name and his some information. As he says this, are we gonna talk, or Izuku just nods his head side to side as Todoroki says this, Dad, my friend Izuku, he rarely talks. As he says this, huh, interesting. So wait for a second. So when Endeavor was told that, he says this, oh, okay. So just patrol for like an hour, I guess. So Izuku and Todoroki start patrolling the city for a while. So while they were patrolling, Izuku sees his classmate known as Izumi, and yes, if you already forgotten, because I didn't told any story about her yet. Well, she's Izuku's long lost sister. Wait for a second. She is Izuku's long lost sister, which Izuku doesn't know yet. So yeah. So wait for a second. So when when well when she saw Izuku, she says this. Izuku, I didn't know that you were coming to the same agency. Actually, I meant Izuku says not says, more like nods, as Izuku just nods his head side to side. As she says this, wait, you're not going to this agency? As Todoroki says this, sorry, she I meant he's already in another agency, aka my father's. As she says this, oh, okay. Huh. Anyway, I'm with, in the agency for Night Eye, so yeah, bye bye. She starts creating fire as she starts flying away. So, wait for a second. So when she left, Izuku starts patrolling the city once again with Todoroki. So while they were patrolling, Izuku hears some weird noises in the back alley. As Izuku sees some guys, mugging a girl. As they say this, alright, if you don't give us the purse, then we have to have some fun with you. One of them has a knife quirk, which his hands start transforming to large knives. As in large knives, I mean swords. So let's just let's just not question it. Let's just say he has a knife quirk, while the other one has a strength enhancer quirk, and the other one has a laser quirk. As Izuku steps up to them, as they say, "Wait, is that a hero?" As one of them basically starts getting a little bit afraid, while the other one with the laser cord says this, "Don't worry, I got this. This week we won't even know it coming." As Izuku brings out both his Kodachi and his broadsword, Izuku summons out a wave of water, which basically start wrapping around him. Izuku freezes it like water, basically freezing it. Wait for a second. Sorry about that. Um, the the guy with the laser cord starts freezing as he gets frozen alive. But the others start getting afraid as they start running away. Izuku shoots one of them with one of his bullets from his sniper rifle slash railgun, as it doesn't kill him, more like knocks him out. The other one gets knocked out by Izuku as well by using the blunt end of his broadsword. So yeah. So after Izuku does that, the girl says this. Thank you. What's your name? Izuku just gives her his card as she says this. Um, you aren't a person that talks, right? Izuku nods his head as she says this. Um, yeah. Thank you anyway. Bye. As she starts going off, Izuku Izuku starts going back to Todoroki as Todoroki said this. Hey Izuku, have you seen anything interesting or something villainous? Izuku nods his head side to side. So yeah. So a few days have gone by while they were patrolling the city. Most of the troubles in the city are mostly related to normal fighting or just robberies. So yeah, wait for a second. So after that whole debacle, they basically start roaming around the city. Most of which are just basically just robberies or just simple muggings. So Izuku was basically just minding his own business. Izuku just clock out for the night as Izuku starts changing his clothes to civilian clothes, which are just basically these, showing off one of his tattoos. And I said one of them because his other tattoo is basically in his chest, which is in the shape of a skull. Yeah. So Izuku goes into a cafe as Izuku orders well Izuku orders tea and sugar coffee. And it's also my favorite type of coffee if you don't want to know if you want to know. It's actually my favorite type of coffee because I actually drink coffee a little bit sometimes if I have to do videos. And yes, I'm currently drinking coffee right now. Anyway, so Izuku drinks it as Izuku thinks in his mind, much better. Everybody was looking at him. Some people were looking at him saying to themselves, why is he wearing a mask? Or is that his quirk? Is it like a mask quirk or something? So, after Izuku drinks a lot of coffee, he starts going off to to the wait for a second. Sorry about that. Also see you so Izuku starts going back to his to the agency as Izuku um was told by Endeavor that he's gonna be going to another agency where he's going to be patrolling from there because apparently there was some attacks lately at that agency. So Izuku decides to do it. So Izuku was going there with Todoroki as it's the agency where Kaminari and Jiro were. So wait for a second. So Jiro starts asking Izuku, wait, Izuku, I didn't know that you're coming here. Izuku just gestures saying, yeah, I can't believe I had to come here. Anyway, so I wonder why this specific agency was being attacked. She doesn't get it because she doesn't know what it actually means. Wait for a second. Sorry about that. So they started getting ready for getting ready to, how do I say it? Get ready to protect the agency from another villain attack. So when they were getting ready, they hear several noises of these weird looking creatures. These sounds, those sounds don't even sound human or quirky or whatever. They see these people or whatever they are. They seem to be stitched like Frankenstein. Their brains were exposed. They look so horrifying. They look terrifying. One of them had like several eyes. The other several wings. Some with with like 6 arms. Some with like 7 legs or something. As they see a villain, that villain had a sadistic smile. It was a girl with the school girl I meant school girl uniform with a terrifying grin. golden eyes and yellow hair, or blonde hair. And she says this, so, no moose, kill them all. So they start charging in for Izuku. Izuku starts charging in using his, well, his Kodachi to start creating, well, his water katana. The katana starts slicing everything as the katana turns red, turning into, well, a blood katana. Thanks to the blood that's made from the, well, the nomos. And yes, those were nomos. As Izuku just starts slicing everything, as Izuku creates a large a large terrifying structure made from ice using his gigantic broadsword, basically killing every single Nomu in the process. Izuku says this, so villain, challenge me. He doesn't say that, but Izuku just gestures to her like that, and she says this, interesting. Now, ready to die? So she starts charging in at Izuku, using her knife to try and slice him in half. But Izuku just dodges it. Izuku starts using his blade, as in blade I mean his broadsword, to basically start creating icy cold winds. So the other heroes start taking down the Nomus. So back to Izuku. Izuku starts using his, well, legs to start kicking at Toga, and yes, that was Toga. So Toga says this, interesting. You're quite powerful. You're quite interesting as well. How about this? Instead of joining the heroes, join us at the League of Villains. We're better than those scum. They only want is to fucking, well, they only want is fucking power. They're corrupt, unlike us. We shall rule this world and bring it to its knees and bring it to pure justice. So, will you join or not? Izuku just thinks she's insane. Izuku already knows that the world is corrupt already. Izuku killed several corrupt leaders, even people that were planning a coup on the president or even the Queen of England. As Izuku says this, he doesn't say it well, like actually he just gestures it. Izuku says this to like her in his mind, by the way. She said Izuku says this, you're nothing more than scum. Scum that's gonna be scraped off my boot. It makes me sick. Even though your life is probably horrible, but you're still a villain, and I won't forgive you. So, Izuku brings out his sniper rifle as he shoots at point blank range at her head, killing her. As she starts laughing, she says this, you really think that I would ever die? Besides, unlike you, I have several quirks. Her head starts regrowing, or at least her forehead, which starts regrowing from, well, from whatever it is. Izuku thinks his mind, what in the? Izuku starts using his, well, his quirk sight ability, as Izuku sees that she had multiple quirks. Izuku thinks that she was given these quirks by All for One, which Izuku already knows because, well, Izuku tangled with him many years ago. Izuku already was in shock. Izuku was in shock that she had like multiple quirks. Izuku thinks his mind, no, she obviously had well, multiple quirks at first glance. After all, those nomus that she, well, summoned, those were definitely people that were killed and turned to those things. So Izuku says this, not really says it directly. He more like says it in his mind. Izuku says this: "Time for you to pay for your sins." So Izuku starts combining his Kodachi with his broadsword, creating a large, terrifying, large blade. Izuku starts charging in. So Izuku starts creating a wave of water. As the wave of water basically start strangling her, Izuku just creates a ice, starts turning the water into ice, instantly freezing her. But she gets out of that pretty easily. As she says this, really, you really think that would actually beat me? Well, take this. She starts creating glowing red knives. As these knives start charging in at Izuku, Izuku starts dodging them pretty easily, but the second knife almost grazes him a little bit, right on his arm. As wait for a second. Both Jiro and Kaminari says this. Wait, Izuku, are you okay? As Izuku gestures, he's okay. As Izuku says this to her, not really directly, but like you already get it. Anyway, so Izuku just gestures to her. Well, let's have a real fight. So Izuku starts charging in at her. As Izuku makes his blade even larger. As the ice starts consuming her. As she basically disappears. As she kicks Izuku right in the face. Izuku thinks in his mind, so she has several quirks. I'm guessing that was a teleporting quirk. As she says this, this is boring. Guess I'm done playing with you. Now, ready to die. She smiles as she starts charging at Izuku, creating those gigantic knives. But Izuku dodges them. Izuku summons out his sniper rifle and puts it up to her chin as it shoots her right in the face, instantly bursting her face open. As she starts regrowing her head, as she says this, how rude. Anyway, guess I'll be going now. And also, by the way, the name's Himiko Toga. So, I hope to see you again. She smiles sadistically as she disappears. So, after that whole week, they started going back to the dorms where Izuku was being fixed up by some of the girls. As in some of the girls, I mean Eri, Kaminari, and Jiro. Jiro says this, Izuku, maybe next time you should not be that reckless. And for, Kaminari, she says this, yeah, maybe you should never do that ever again. It literally worried me. As for, for Eri, she said this, I don't really, know what happened, but, if anybody were to hurt you, I would punish them immediately. Izuku is kind of comfortable of talking to them a little bit. Izuku says this to them, but don't try and touch me. As Izuku sees, or at least gets a knock at the door. Izuku sees, wait for a second. Izuku sees Vanessa. As Vanessa says this, hey Izuku. Izuku says, oh, Miss Vanessa. As she says this, alright Izuku, I heard that you were attacked by this quirk user. She had no multiple quirks, right? Izuku says, yeah. I'm thinking that's all for one minion. They say, I mean, Eri, Kaminari, and Jiro say this. Oh, for one, who's that? Izuku explains who he is, as they say, really? As wait for a second. Eri says this. Oh, I heard of this guy by the name of Oh for One. I heard he was pretty powerful. So Vanessa starts leaving as they started going to sleep. So yeah, so I hope you liked the video. Comment and subscribe, and hope to see you guys next time. Bye bye.